Hello, my name is Andrew Collins and I'm a Telly addict. Well, it's quite a solemn moment, isn't it? Burton and Taylor, which aired on BBC4 last week, was the channel's last ever drama.
They loved it. The audience loved it, and they adored that they were in on the gag. And the audience, may I remind you, are the ones who are paying our wages. Or rather, they're paying my company, who are paying your wages.
Fuck off.
It was quite a curtain call, with Helena Bonham Carter as Liz Taylor and Dominic West as Richard Burton enjoying one last fling during the New York run of Private Lives in 1983. This was a high-powered addition to BBC4's portfolio of karaoke dramas. Written by seasoned TV veteran William Ivory, who also wrote BBC One's Olympic-themed Burton Dickey, and directed by Richard Laxton, who's squaring the BBC4 circle, having helmed the standout Hancock and Joan a few years ago. This was very much in the cut-price spirit of the signature run. As you can see from this grandly cinematic opening shot, they made the most of what they had.
I'm ready now, Chin.
Shot in 18 days, mostly in Chiswick, it's a chamber piece that demands no trickery, the onus resting with the writing and performing. When people say that Burton and Taylor were the most famous couple in the world, especially during their two marriages from 1964 to 1976, we're talking king and queen of the world famous. Only Posh and Bex come close subsequently, and try getting a 90-minute biopic out of them trying to remember where the utensils are kept in the kitchen.
Jog on the spot for 5 minutes.
Without stopping.
No love after 30 seconds, they encourage you to have another Jack Daniels and ring room service for another hot dog. Of course you don't stop. You ready? Okay. Come on, knees up. What are you doing?
What do you mean?
What are you doing?
Richard, I'm holding my bosom. It's bouncing up and down. Richard, I'm 40 years of age. They're 40 years of age. They've gained a certain elasticity.
Exec producer Jessica Pope said, "We were aware that the last BBC4 film was due and we wanted to make a splash with it." They certainly did that. Rich, focused, witty and acted off the screen, Burton and Taylor also made you yearn for an age of celebrity where some knowns were still unknown in the public domain.
We break for lunch in 20 and...
Of course.
BBC4 didn't invent the biopic, but the finest among its hours, Phil Davis as Steptoe and Jason Isaacs as Son, Trevor Eve as Huey Green, Ken Stott as Hancock, gave a small channel a big identity. So when the Murdoch-Cameron axe fell on the licence fee in 2010, the channel's defining idiosyncratic drama slate was easier to pick off.
Christ.
After all, BBC4 drama is just those things about depressed comedians and drunk actors, isn't it? Was. Hey, here's something else that's made by the BBC, but I won't be reviewing it.
Always fooling around when we were young.
Why? It's a brand new comedy by live circuit sketch favourites and whatever the Perrier's called now, nominees, Pappies. Because I worked on it as a script editor, an unsexy invisible role, but if anyone says on Twitter I really admired the way the script lasted exactly 28 minutes, lols, I'll dine out on it for weeks.
Well folks, that was the first episode of Badults.
Ah, I blinked and missed it. I don't know if you remember this, but when brand new comedy PhoneShop piloted on Channel 4 as part of Comedy Showcase in 2009, much was made of the identity of its sexy invisible script editor, Ricky Gervais. He's long gone, don't know what happened to him, but PhoneShop is back, better than ever, for Series 3. To get you up to speed, it's set in a phone shop in Sutton, 5 people work there, you're up to speed. The simplicity and claustrophobia of the setting would delight a BBC4 production accountant. It has no stars, and yet all 5 of its principals are stars. For the uninitiated, this is the bloke from The Inbetweeners, the bloke from Pulling, and, well, the bloke from PhoneShop.
I've been baking.
What?
I've been baking. What are you talking about, bro? I've been baking. Baking what? Baking a fucking barm cake?
What, he's been baking a barm cake?
I've been baking a barm cake like a big bloody bugger. No. Baking cakes. Celebrate the fact I've finally been accepted into the WMRC.
WMRC, the white man's reggae club. That the white characters sound just as, if not more black than the black character bespeaks PhoneShop's radar for the truth of modern high street Britain. Hence manager Lance's ethno-curious Great British Beer Cough skunk muffins.
I thought there was room cakes.
Room cakes? Cakes for the room. Cakes for the room?
Look, you leave food in a room, it's gonna get ate. To me, that's fair game. It's like fruit on a fucking tree.
Yeah, but where have they gone? It got ate.
Written, produced and directed by the estimable Phil Bowker, with additional dialogue by the cast, PhoneShop has always had an energy all of its own, and a loyal audience. But TV law dictates that when you come back after a 2-year gap, you don't feed your main characters drugs in scene 1.
And so he put the advert in the classified section of the newspaper, and it turns out that the woman who turned up to meet him at a bar called O'Malley's was actually his wife.
So the woman who liked making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape was his wife.
That's the woman from Home Time, Emma Fryer, by the way. Such confidence to break characters down before you've established them via laboured exposition for new viewers, and to make a joke about the Pina Colada song by Rupert Holmes. Here, giving Sutton's shopping precinct a plug, is Tom Bennett, whom I praised last week for his ace improv work on Family Tree. A local councillor told the Sutton Guardian that she hopes the publicity generated by PhoneShop will encourage other businesses to come to Sutton. Probably hadn't seen the bit involving Bennett in the doorway of KFC when she said that. On the subject of TV generating publicity for a town, Channel 5's got me thinking about moving to Dublin. Look how funky it looks. All the young people in it are cool and there's a constant hip-hop soundtrack. OK, so a minister's promising a crackdown on gangland, but look how easy it is to get a taxi. Yeah. This is LoveHate, and some words I've never uttered on Telly Addict before. It's a drama imported from RTE1, which is refreshing in and of itself. We've cherry-picked from France and Denmark and New Zealand, and the fall gave us a taste of Northern Ireland, so why not the Republic? The first episode started with a funeral, which gave us a chance to meet the family.
You should sit with us. You're still family.
Thanks, Rena.
John White, how you doing? You got bail okay, yeah? Yeah. That's the business, you know. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm sorry about Robbie.
So that's Aiden Gillen from The Wire and Game of Thrones as the local drug lord, offering condolences to Robert Sheehan from Misfits over his younger brother's death, which was not from natural causes. Ruth Bradley, who was once in a Channel 4 comedy showcase, is already excellent at Sheehan's sister, who was sleeping with Killian Scott's Tommy when he should have been there to meet Robbie out of prison but wasn't.
Look, Darren, man, I'm sorry, I forgot.
What are you doing?
Getting dressed.
Oh, I knew it.
I knew you were banging some young one. Go on, hurry up, will you? I'll call you back to ring my sister.
He's in the country, is he?
Yeah.
Egypt.
It's difficult not to get pulled into such an assured and youthful crime saga with a unique Dublin swagger. Written by playwright Stuart Carolyn and predominantly directed by David Caffrey, unlike The Irish Economy, LoveHate is worth investing in, as this is the first of 3 series made in 2010. Not that you'd notice.
What are you doing with the door locked?
Update me Bebo page.
Updating me Bebo page.
Ah, I think they still had the Catholic Church in those days too. Now, I've had a few issues with BBC One Issues documentaries of late, but Channel 4 showed that it is possible to force social concerns through the mangle of format and produce something worthwhile.
Excited and future, good and door open for me.
Why don't you speak English? Not a slogan on the side of a racist van driven by Theresa May around London, but a sensitive 2-part documentary. Yes, it does what most documentaries do, send people to live in other people's houses, but with the purpose of seeing how easy it is to teach a foreigner English.
Agnieszka is one of Britain's 600,000 Polish immigrants.
A szopka? Shade.
Shade.
The.
Shade.
Yes.
Kami and her daughter Manju are the first English-speaking people she has ever spent any time with.
This would usually be a case of light the blue touch paper, retire and watch the fireworks. The producers even rustled up some great British bigots to attack big-hearted Colombian visitor Fabian, who was lodging with a publican in Chelsea.
There's a lot more £50 notes in Poland than there is in England. Why do you think we're in recession?
The immigrant people, yeah,
working in this country and buy the money this country, in the bar, in the street. Understand me? No understand?
No. We have to look after our own first.
Once we got this pantomime out of the way, individual stories were told, such as this one from Congolese refugee Sifa to her hosts on a farm in Yorkshire. Not much to do with learning English, I grant you. Sifa was even using the production translator, but moving nonetheless. As were the more on-message results seen when the seemingly unteachable Agnieszka brought out the natural English teacher in Kami, Uxbridge.
She's happy.
She's happy, no? She's a good girl, she's a good girl.
I think my mum's adopted another daughter, so I'm out, she's in.
That why can't you speak English transmuted into why don't we all just get along during the first hour was not a problem for me. The more intractable hurdle of teaching English gave way to a simple tale of ethnic blending. Here's Chinese mum Apple, forever destined to speak with a North Riding accent, on a mission from her mainly pointing and speaking very loudly but well-meaning hosts in Redcar.
Licorice. All sauce. I'm sorry, at 100 licorice or sauce.
Licorice sauce.
Yeah. You
The only licorice you've got is licorice torpedoes or the Pontefract cakes.
I'm not 100% sure I need to see them all swap round and move into each other's houses again next week, but if one rival broadsheet is attacking it as politically correct, I'm in. Your moment of zen is replaced by a moment of austerity. I'll review The Mill, Channel 4's dark satanic idea of a Sunday night period drama, next week. But you can see why it's already like The Village, but without the laughs.
How's Tommy, Mrs. T? All I know is Mrs. Gregg took his hand away in a bucket. He's clinging on with what's left. Nice one for your basket.